Right now, you're probably scrolling trying to think, I'm looking at the prices of these Disney cruises, and is this the right cruise for me and my family? We're Little Points, and we've been on a Disney cruise with our boys, and we've traveled to different countries.
Yeah, in this video, we're going to cover things like the room, the food, the entertainment, the private island, and just the overall experience. And actually, would we go on the Disney cruise again? And have we been on the Disney cruise again?
So let's get right into it.
All right, so let's start off with the room. The room is really important to us because that's where you're sleeping. And for a family of 4, we always try to book one room because it does get expensive.
Yeah.
Even if we're going on a Disney cruise, Royal Caribbean, wherever, we're going to book that one room. Now, we are a family of 4, and when we got into the Disney cruise and the room, we always get a balcony. The balcony always just makes us feel like we have that little bit of extra space, you know, when someone's changing, we just have more room.
Yeah.
So when you walk into the room, the Disney cruise, they won. Out of all the cruises we've been on, we just have to say you won.
Yeah.
The first thing we love about the Disney cruise, they give you 2 bathrooms. They're going to give you one that has the sink and the toilet, and then the one that just has the bathtub. And then you get a bathtub, which is nice.
Yeah,
like,
that
how
is true.
often do you get a bathtub on a cruise? Unless you order like a suite or something like that. You actually get a bathtub. So we love that because there's so many times when you get back into the room and you're rushing for dinner and things like that, and you're changing and one person's hogging the bathroom. With this, you don't have to worry about that. So I love that. I also love the fact that the rooms are spacious. And they also have the bunk beds. So the beds come down. So you feel like we've been on Royal Caribbean where the room was so tight where you couldn't walk around. You know, if Jason, if the kids are sleeping and he wanted to get out in the morning time to do whatever, you can't walk around. You're
No.
like trying to squeeze past
Yeah.
them. The beds are down. It was enough space. They also have like this curtain that comes down. So they have like, it's almost like their private area on their side. And they love putting that curtain
Oh my! So that was the joke. They used to just like slash the curtains on us and be like, we're in our space.
This is our
this
space.
is kids' corner.
Yeah, so they love that. And they actually, for our cruise, they put theme sheets out and stuff like that. So they love that.
Yeah.
So I will have to say the room size is big. And we had an extended balcony or something like that. So
Yeah,
it
I was
really
just about to
nice.
get on that. So the extended balcony, it was to the back of the ship,
But it was nice.
but it was nice. So when we did all the sailaways, we just got to see like a panoramic view of
Yeah.
like the islands that we were leaving, or you know the tugs. They love seeing like the tugs like come in and like guiding us in. They love that part. But that extended balcony was everything because all 4 of us could go out there and we still had room.
Oh, it was really nice. You had so much room. And again, it just felt like an extension of the room. But even without that extended balcony, the room size is much bigger than what we've gotten on other cruise ships. So
Yeah.
I will say Disney, hands down, you won. Even with room service and just with the staff and everything, everybody was so nice and it was so clean.
Yes.
Every time we would leave the room, we would come back and it was just really clean. We didn't get on the ship. When we got on the ship, even though it was an older ship, the room didn't feel old.
No.
It felt new, you know, it felt really new. Even we had a problem when we got on, I guess some birds had flown by and they pooped on the chairs.
Yeah.
And they immediately came and they changed those chairs. They did everything to make sure that our stay was everything we needed it to be.
And then they followed up with us just to make sure we are so sorry about this
Yes.
experience. We are so sorry that the chairs were messed up by the birds with bird poop. Is there anything else we could do?
They
You know?
came and they bought our kids snacks.
Yeah.
I mean, they went above and beyond to because they felt like that was our first impression of the room. And we just was like, hey, can we get someone to clean the chairs, you know?
that was
Because we understood birds going by and can't help that. But they went above and beyond. So room, they got it.
Yeah.
Clean.
And oh, sorry. The easiest way to make the comparison as far as what you're going to experience as far as the cleanliness of the room. Imagine you go into Disney Park, and hopefully, I'm not too sure if you've ever been to Disney World or Disneyland, how clean you notice everything. If there's trash on the floor, it's probably there for like 2 seconds before somebody
someone's
comes to
cleaning.
come and scoop it up. And how everything looks, meaning the sidewalks are clean, the rides are clean. That is the equivalent of what you will see inside your room. And
All over
honestly,
the ship.
All over the ship.
There's always someone wiping something down, cleaning, even in the food halls, everywhere. Someone's cleaning,
Someone's
and it's
cleaning.
always clean.
It's always
I'm
clean.
like, it seemed like every time we would open our door to come back, I'm like, do they have like a bell down there?
I know, like, ding.
That they know they were leaving
just
the
left.
room and they're like, oh, we got to get up there and tidy it up. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like I've never had that experience. So it was great.
Yeah.
All right, on to food in the
Food.
restaurants.
Let's
So
go.
food, which is very important. I loved breakfast was always my favorite meal because they would have the Mickey, and it was also yours too, because the Mickey waffles.
Yeah, the Mickey waffles.
Yeah,
are
they're everything, you know. So we would do the Mickey waffles. We did a character lunch or something like that. So you can sign up and that was free. So we did that. And the kids loved all those things. And I did love that they did have different themes for each night when we would go to dinner. You know, it was like enchanted. Like it was just fun. You would paint and just your drawings would come to life. Different things coming from the ceiling and stuff like that. So I feel like the experience that they give you with the entertainment especially for the kids and things like that at dinner that you would normally pay a big price tag for outside, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Now the food, the taste.
Okay, so that was the thing that we were like, only if they nailed this part. And look, I'm sorry, I like to cook. We like having taste inside the food
and
flavor.
seasoning and everything.
I think a lot of it went into the experience because, like as Brizette was saying, that there are different restaurants and there's a rotation. So this night you're gonna go to this restaurant, this night you're gonna go to that restaurant, and they're all different types of cuisine that you'll have. But we just noticed that there was lacking flavor.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I think there was like one dish that I liked, which was some kind of pasta dish, and it was really good. And actually, I told my waiter that, and he gave it to me another night. He was like,
Yeah.
no, I'll go to that restaurant because your servers do travel with you.
Yeah.
So, which is nice because our kids have allergies. So they're always very mindful of that. They get to know you and get to know, what your kids like to drink. And, and I did like that the drinks were included.
Yeah.
Not alcohol, but the drinks like soda and stuff like that was included and teas and everything. But again, the flavor on the food just was not there.
It just wasn't there.
Not there,
I was always seasoning.
So disappointed with that. I was like, Disney, come on now. Give me some flavor,
Please, any flavor, flavor.
Yeah, and we did do a specialty restaurant, which we absolutely loved. Now that food, I could have had that every night, and I would have paid for that every night because it was just that good. Where did we go?
We went to Palo,
and we absolutely loved that. Again, I would have paid for that meal every night because the food in the dining hall
it just wasn't there.
It wasn't hidden.
Now for your buffet food upstairs, like when you do your normal buffet and stuff like that, it's kind of the same that you'll get. But when you went to dinner, you were expecting hey,
this is Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney does everything right, so the food has got to be perfect. It wasn't.
It wasn't there.
I did like the fact though that you can order room service. So room service was really good. Our kids love getting the Mickey bars, so that was fun. We liked the warm milk and cookies. It helped us. It helped us back if we were out for the day and we were in between dinner, and not quite ready for that. So we were able to order room service and order as much as we wanted. We just had to pay like the gratuities and the tip and stuff like that. So, which is that. But other than that, food.
Yeah. Sorry. And it wasn't for us.
It wasn't for us. Okay. Kids Club.
Yes.
On the Kids Club.
This is me. I want to say this.
Okay.
All right. So the Kids Club. So this when we went on a Disney cruise with our kids, this was the first experience that we had with them. We went on cruises before. We didn't go on a Disney cruise by ourselves, but we took our kids on the first one. And we did hear from the Facebook groups talking about the Kids Club, and we were like, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is the first one that we're taking them. We're just going to keep them with us. We're going to experience the boat, see everything together, go all the shows, hang out at night. Until we saw the Kids Club, and we were blown away because we saw how much attention they paid as far as when the kids came in, how many staff members were there, and how clean it was.
How clean.
Yes.
Like these hand washing stations that you get to use, like when you go in there, are like next. I was jealous. Every time they went, I was like, can I
just wash my hands, please?
Yeah. So when your kids, before they get on the cruise ship, they're going to give them this band, and that's going to be the band that they scan in and out for the Kids Club for them. It's going to let you know where they are on the ship and things like that. So That's very important. When you go on the cruise ship in the beginning, I want to tell you, please go when you get on early, go ahead and check out that kids club.
Yeah.
Go early with them, register them, do all the things you need to, because that's going to put your mind at ease as well. And I think that helped us a lot to say, you know
Once
what?
we saw it, we're like,
I think they want to go, and our kids were excited because they were kind of nervous. It was nice that they were together, because that helped us know, like, hey, look out for your little brother. But when we would pick them up, one is here, one is there. They had made friends, so all over the ship they were like, hey Chase, hey Carter, everybody knew them. So it was just a fun experience.
yeah.
I also like with the kids club at dinner time, if you let them know that your kids are going to kids club, they'll make sure to bring out their food first. And then there's a staff member who actually will come pick them up from dinner and allow them to, so you don't have to leave. Like all the other ships we've had to get up from dinner time, take them upstairs, and then come back down. But there was always someone, and you saw a line of kids getting
man.
ready. I mean, everybody was like dashing from the tables to go to kids club because that's how much fun they had. And they always wanted to stay late. So they gave us a phone.
Yeah, the phone was really great because for us, we want to know, okay, are they having a good experience?
'Cause we were nervous.
Or did they call the room phone and we just don't know it? Excuse me. How will we know if they want to leave? Because the cell phones aren't working. But it was really great because they would hand the phone. You had the option to check out a phone, and that phone was on.
To you, yeah.
Oh yeah, they gave it to you, and it was on. So if we wanted just to call in and see how they're doing, most of the times we did, and they were like, "Oh yeah, they're having a good time.
They're having fun." And there was also a time you and Chase went to in Jamaica. You guys got off, and you guys did a what did you guys do?
We did the ATV tour in Jamaica. Yeah.
So I had Carter, and Carter was a little bit younger. I think he was like 6 at the time. And he didn't want to get off the boat. Like I wanted to go explore. Like I stayed in the port, but I wanted to get off the boat. So I actually checked him in the kids club, and I had the phone on me, and I felt okay because I didn't. Now, if I was going on an excursion, I probably wouldn't have left him. But I was just going right there in the port, and I was walking around different shops, and he didn't want to go.
No.
So there were still kids. There were other parents just like me who their kids went to the kids club and they went off and did something else. So, and I felt okay, because he was having the time of his life.
Yeah.
So
without his brother.
Yeah.
So that goes to show like how much fun the kids actually have. And the best thing about it is the activities. So they're just not going to the kids club and just running around, not doing anything or trying to figure out how can I make friends, or if they're shy, if they're not really, interacting. No, there's group activities. There are instructors there or staff there that's leading the activities such as like goggle ball and different things like that. Their video game, I think, tournaments, if I'm not mistaken, that was there. There are different arts and crafts things that they can do. There's just so much they could do. And it's led by, it's kind of like them going to daycare in a way, like, but older daycare to have fun all the time. So that's the one thing I could definitely say that was really, really, really great about it.
And I'll also tell you, when I got off of the island in Jamaica and Carter stayed, they asked me, do you want us to feed him lunch? So it was really great. They were like, oh no. And you got to pick what you wanted them to have for lunch, and they would feed them there for you. So come on now. And I will say, I liked how Disney did the Teens Club as well. Even though Chase wasn't old enough to go to the Teens Club, I did see the teens, like the club together, and they were doing activities. Like it wasn't that, like we went on Royal. And that's one thing I'm very disappointed with Royal, because the kids kind of can check themselves in and out. They're free to go or roam. It's a mess because you don't feel like there's anybody watching them. Where here, they actually had activities. Like they were creating like a play or something. They went to the movies together. So they were doing things. Like there was a counselor with them. So I will say that Disney makes sure that the teens have something to do, and not just like, hey, if you want to come, you can hang out, or hey, if you want to do something. They're doing things together.
Yeah.
So, and the teens really seem to have a great time. So I was like, oh, this is great. So when Chase was ready to go to the teens club on Royal, I was disappointed because it wasn't organized like it was for the Disney cruise. So Disney, you won that one.
You definitely won. So in our experience, definitely.
Yeah.
Won. So let's move on to what?
Entertainment. All right. Shows. Disney shows are amazing.
Let's go.
They are. We've been to Lion King in New York on Broadway, and it was just the same experience. if not even better. You got to see multiple shows there. The actors and performers were amazing, full of energy. It wasn't just catered towards kids, but it was like adults could get into it as well.
Yeah.
But our kids actually wanted to go to the shows with us, which was nice. So we felt like we were taken to a Broadway show each night, and they didn't not want to leave. Like they were like, can we go to the show and then we'll go do something else? Or then can we go to the show and then we'll go do a kids club? So I think they won that. We went to a couple of comedy shows for us, and that was really good. So we like that.
Yeah, even the comedy shows, the family ones. I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was absolutely the comics and the entertainment that they bring on is family friendly.
And then they have an adult one.
And then they have an adult one.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't horrible. It
No,
wasn't
it was
horrible.
good.
It was good.
Yeah.
But the kids one, oh man, they had a ball. And then they looked them up on YouTube and they found them later.
Yeah, and the magician and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really top notch entertainment, and that's the one thing I could say hands down about Disney. Just like you mentioned, the shows and the entertainment as far as like just surrounding that, they really put a lot into it. So it's similar to like you watching like a Disney movie and seeing how much they put into the movie. This is what they're putting into the entertainment for the kids and also the shows. So
Now, on that same note, though,
Yeah.
I will say that there was a lot of time we were bored.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the kids may have went to kids club, because even during the daytime when we thought they would want to be with us, sometimes they'd be like, oh, can you take us to kids club?
Yeah.
And we would try to find something to do, and we were bored. Like, even though we don't gamble, like I like to go on cruises and I'll spend $20 a night. Like that's my thing.
That's her
It's
thing.
just something to do, you know? So there's no casinos on board. So that was kind of boring. I just felt like a lot of the nighttime on Royal Caribbean, there's so many different things that you can do. I didn't find that much that you can do at nighttime. So there would be a lot of times we would just go back to the room, or we would go to the movie theater and try to find a movie or something like that. So we were bored a lot of our time, you
Yeah.
know. We were just like, you know. So it's a mix. I like the shows, but as far as having a lot for us to do when we drop the kids off, I wasn't impressed with that.
Yeah, and
I
I
was
think
kinda
what
like,
Disney's trying to do now, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to change that just a little bit, maybe to give a little bit more options for the adults. But when we went, yeah, we did find that.
Yeah.
Even if we just walked around the boat, we walked around the boat several times, kind of looked over the water and watched the moon as it goes by, and that part is really cool. But as far as us to keep in depth and entertain, it's kind of
I wasn't overly impressed. I think Royal Caribbean does a better job with
did,
that.
yeah.
Even when I talk about activities as far as the other things to do on the cruise ship, like Royal, we can do the go-karts, we can do bumper cars, we could do rock walls.
climbing, yeah.
You have even though we had slides on here, you have multiple slides. There's so much more things to do. Like there's the big broad walk where you have like the carnival theme.
Yeah.
So I felt like there was more to do on those ships than there was to do on Disney.
So,
You know?
and the good comparison, because I love to do the comparison, is to really think about it as if you're looking at the Disney cruise, you're looking at it as like Disney World. But if you're looking like a Royal Caribbean, where it's like an enthusiast, like there's a ton of attractions, that's like Universal Studios
Yeah.
in Florida. So that's the best way to compare it. If you have thrill-seeking kids that want high adrenaline things, you probably want to go like Universal Studios, or in this case would be like a Royal Caribbean. I don't really want to say Carnival, but they do have a little bit more things
No
to do on there. Versus if you want that curated experience as far as like the wholesome environment of Disney, then you go for the Disney cruise.
Yeah.
So that's where we found our entertainment there.
All right, now the private island.
Ooh, Private Island. Let's
Okay,
go.
so
Let's
we
go.
got off, and this was our first private island with our kids. And it was great. You know,
Yeah.
we got off the boat. There's like a little play structure. The beach was nice.
Very clean.
Yeah, very clean.
Very clean.
But that's all I have to say about the private
Yeah.
island. It wasn't nothing that made me go, wow. You know, we've been on private island with Royal Caribbean, and that makes you go, wow.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much to do, from the beach to the pools. You don't have to do the amusement park part. Even if I take that out, there's still so much to do. The food was good on both, but I would just have to say I wasn't overly impressed with Disney's private island. And it was so funny because someone had paid for like these expensive cabanas.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? The cabanas were right next to where we were on the beach. And there was just like a little rope that
true, yeah.
separated though from there. their little, and I was like, seriously, you paid all that money. Yes, you have this nice cabana, but
It's just a rope.
it's just a
Yeah.
rope that separates us. Like, you
Which
know.
our kids kept floating under the rope.
Yeah,
It
we're
was
like,
"Nah,
no,
on
no,
this
come on
side.
this side.
Come on
But
this side."
yeah, I didn't find that there was anything to really keep them really entertained
Mm-hmm.
a lot longer, you know, or, you know, it was just like a nice relaxing beach day. So if
Yeah.
you want that relaxing beach day, it was perfect. But
Mm-hmm.
for us, we've been to other ones now, and we could say this one was a lot better bang for your buck.
Yeah, and I would say like the beach itself, like to just give it a little bit of credit, also because I know you said it was
was
nice.
clean.
It was very clean, really well kept, extremely well kept. So just imagine,
was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the food was great. So just imagine like you have Disney World or Disneyland just planted in like the Bahamas. Like you just take the whole thing and put it in the Bahamas, clean sand. You know, the characters walking around.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
So, and then those things were fun. Then they had like a run you can do, like that 5K.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called, but there was
yeah.
a run you can do.
I forgot
And you
about that.
guys were trying to get up to do it, but
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
So, and then they have the tram that takes you. So all those things were nice. However, because we've been to other private islands, I would say the other islands have a lot more to do on there.
They definitely do.
Now, you might say, okay, why did you guys pick a Disney cruise? Why did you guys go on a Disney cruise? For us, it was that we wanted our kids to have that for their first cruise, to have that experience. We wanted them to say, we've never, you know, we didn't want them to say, oh, we wish we would go on a Disney cruise, or you see the commercials, or like for us, we go to Florida about once a year, you know, because we're in Georgia and we're close. And they always seeing like the ads for it, or
Yeah.
if we're in Costco, you see the big Disney cruise ad.
Oh, not even that. If we're driving through Orlando, we see the bus, the
Yeah,
transportation bus, like
yeah.
taking people from the airport to the cruise port. So we're
Yeah.
like,
We want to go.
Yeah.
We didn't, and also, you know, we've been on Carnival, we've been on Royal, and especially with Carnival, we didn't want we wanted them to have this wholesome experience.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what they were going to see. You know, if you know, you know. We didn't know what they were going to hear. If you know, you know. So things like that. So we wanted to make sure that they stayed as innocent as possible. And we thought, what better way than to take them on a Disney cruise?
Yeah.
So that was the reason why we took them. We were those people when we got on a Disney cruise, we were like, this is it.
Uh-huh.
We will never cruise on another cruise line again.
Yeah.
We are Disney diehards now. And we weren't before. We were like, oh my God, Disney is everything. Disney is where it's at. And then we had this one experience where we were like, and we had already booked our next cruise.
Yeah, we did.
I can't remember. I think it was Jamaica. And we pulled up, and then these two massive ships
Yeah, we're like,
pulled in next to us. And here we are, this little itty bitty ship, and we're looking up like,
what is that?
and then our kids are looking up like the slides, and this and that. And,
And
we're like,
everybody's
hey,
just-
focus
yeah,
on
focus
our
on
ship.
here.
Yeah.
Focus on the Disney ship.
Yeah,
Focus
but
on the
you're on
one
Disney. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
all those kids wish they were on Disney, you know, and they couldn't help but see like everything, these huge, massive slides, you know. And at that point, we were like, okay, you know, we still booked the next cruise, and I think COVID happened and things happened, and we were like, we gave our kids we started to look at other cruises, and because we had time, you know, our cruise, we were supposed to do it the next year, but they had canceled it, and we already put our deposit down and everything, and we were like, no, we're doing Disney. And we kept trying to convince ourselves. We were like, we can't take our kids on another cruise.
No,
they don't
yeah.
want to, they've been on Disney, they don't want to go anything else.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. You know, we got the magnets, we got the fish extender thing. We're in this, you
Yeah.
know. But then we asked our kids, and they started looking at other cruise ships, and they were like, we want to try Royal Caribbean. We want to try that one. And we were like, for the price we pay for this one, we can go on two
Two.
Royal Caribbean cruises.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We said, okay, we called up Disney. They were so sweet. They gave us a full refund of the deposit we put down. We didn't lose anything. And that's a nice thing about Disney that other cruises don't do. You lose your deposit.
Yeah.
So Disney were like, okay, no problem. We went on Royal Caribbean. And from there, we've been sold on Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean.
The kids
so-
as well. They were like, the kids
Yeah.
club is awesome. The activities are
are
awesome.
awesome. There's just so much more to do besides the kids club. Like they actually prefer the kids club on Royal than they did Disney. They just said it was just the entertainment, the activities were a lot better. The activities outside, being able to go on zip lines, being able to go on
Yeah.
water slides, being able to go on bumper cars. There's just so much more to do.
Yeah.
And then for us, there's so much more for us to do once we drop them off at kids club. We don't feel like we're so bored. We could go to we could watch an ice skating show. We can do this and that. Now, I will say I do miss the shows on Disney.
Yeah.
I wish we can see those shows.
The shows were everything.
Yeah, the
Absolutely
shows were everything. But for the price, I couldn't see us paying that again.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry. I know we're going to get so many comments from people who are like, but Disney, Disney, Disney. Yes, I get it. But for the price, I wouldn't do it again.
No.
And that we're being honest. Like, we don't want to lead you in the wrong direction. Yes, there's so many positive things. But again, for the price and for bang for your buck, I think once you remove yourself from off of that ship and you remove yourself from everything, it's like being in Disney World. You get just like in the zone, in this trance, like, oh my gosh. But then once you sit back and you have time to think about it
Yeah.
and you compare apples to apples, you're like, is it worth it?
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And it's kind of like, just like you said, when you get into Disney World, you buying the sweatshirts and the hats and the T-shirts. And you
Yeah,
buy
because you're
everything.
there.
You're there. You got to wear it there. But when you get back home,
You
probably
never
it for a
wear
week.
that. Yeah, you wear it for like a here and there, you
mean,
know.
yeah.
But like you said, you look silly now on the outside, like wearing that stuff sometimes. Now we know there's some diehard fans in here who are Disney all the way.
All the way.
And they can't see taking their family on anything else. And we are happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're just trying to let someone else know who's thinking about the two.
Yeah.
That, you know, you could find something else that has a lot more. Like the private island, there's a lot more to do. Yes, the ship is great, but there's better.
Yeah.
So
I know.
again, hopefully this helps. We were just trying to be honest. We love Disney, but we wouldn't do it again.
Yeah,
So.
we definitely wouldn't do it again. So if you know
I
somebody,
wouldn't say we wouldn't do it again.
Ah.
We might do it again. I'm not gonna say. I would never say never. We might do it again.
we may. We'll
Yeah.
ask our kids like, hey, you want to go to another Disney?
But we
cruise?
did
Like,
ask them. We gave them the choice. We said Disney or Royal, and they were like Royal. And then we've given them a choice. Another time, we were like, hey, would you guys want to do a Disney cruise or a Royal? And they were like Royal.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. All right. Hopefully
Yeah.
it helps.
If you know
Thank you for
somebody,
watching.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Click on our other videos, like and subscribe, and make sure you join us on our next journey.
Yes. Let's go.